Welcome to the new BCMM network. The following podcast is meant solely for the enjoyment and entertainment of our audience. You're watching the all-new Blue Collar Minutemen show. Together we took back our nation, now we fix our government.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Blue Collar Minuteman Show. We're just a couple of guys who, well, we're getting along better than a couple other people.
Somebody needs to go to marriage counseling.
Yeah. Bill, how's it going?
Doing good. You?
Not too bad, not too shabby. Like I was telling you, had to make a bunch of phone calls and got to get my tractor worked on next week. So spending money, making money and spending money. That's all I do. But I'm telling you, we are going to golf. We're going to get there. But folks, before we get started on this, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, share these videos. And when you like and subscribe, you get notifications anytime we come out with new videos, so you don't have to wait or wonder when. And with that being said, let's get started. Of course, you heard me mention that Bill and I are getting along. Bill, who's apparently not getting along right now.
Well, it seems like there's trouble in paradise.
Oh, no.
Mr. Musk and President Trump seem to be at each other's throats.
Now, you say seem to be. Is there a reason for that, maybe?
Well, it depends on whether or not you know how to play four-dimensional chess. Because some people out there say that's what's going on.
Right.
That this is okay. What has become of this so far? Well, so far, we've got every Democrat out there now screaming for the Epstein list to be put out.
Yep.
Because as you know, Elon says Trump's on the list.
Yep.
Even though Elon's lawyer came out and said Trump is not on the list, they think he is because what Elon texted out. Now,
right.
He has since removed all of his posts. You know, he threatened to shut down Dragon, his space flights. He's come back later and said, well, I guess I won't close it down now. Things are rolling. I don't know. I will say this. Some people are saying Trump wouldn't have got elected without Elon. I say horseshit.
Yeah, I kind of agree with.
And MAGA is a movement.
Yes.
Elon joined that movement. He didn't start that movement. He doesn't control that movement. And Trump hasn't lost that movement.
No.
So.
Well.
Elon needs Trump more than Trump needs Elon.
This is true.
Yes.
And, I'll kind of add to this. I don't know if it was you who sent it to me or if I was looking around or sent it to you. But if you remember back during Trump's first run, Megyn Kelly was working for Fox and she was moderating. And of course, everybody went ballistic about how Trump was fighting with Megyn Kelly. And she did an interview with, I think his name is Sean Ryan. I might be wrong, but I think it's Sean Ryan. She did an interview with Sean Ryan and said that after it was over with, Trump went to her and said, nobody's going to remember us if we get along. And she goes, so was that just an entertainment? Was that for, so just saying. He's kind of a mastermind if you think about it. If he wants the liberals to do something, he just tells them basically what they want to hear. And then, of course, now they're wanting the Epstein list.
on the Epstein list, and another thing it did, soon as Elon got out and started criticizing the big beautiful bill,
Yeah.
we weeded out all the senators that are snakes in the grass because they all came out, ooh, I don't like this bill because Elon said I don't like this bill. Uh, we found out. Now we know who the rhinos are.
And what have we been saying? We've got to vet these politicians.
Yep.
So,
We kind of know now.
well, Trump knows now too. And like you said, now we know, we the people know. And of course, I said this to you when I talked to you on the phone, but, and folks, think about this. Lindsey Graham back in the day took his picture taken with Osama bin Laden. Now, what does that mean?
Him and John McCain.
Yeah. So what does that tell you? Folks, I'm telling you, do not waste your vote. Your vote is so important. It's crazy. It's like gold. But we all gotta, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they've got to be vetted.
Yep.
So, but I'm still sitting back. I'm just going to be curious to see how all this plays out. I'm not jumping to any conclusions.
It's like one of the guys out there does a lot of hosting. Said we're going to find out, from these podcasters who's paying the bills, depending on how they lean toward this. I'm just waiting to see what happens.
Well, that's all I'm doing.
I mean, I'm not going to be all brokenhearted and pass away if Elon takes off. I'd rather him be back with Trump because they're better together.
Right.
But I mean, it's.
And I feel the same way. And just to reiterate, we said this on the show last time, all of our business has been sourced out to other countries. We can't get it back here like next week. It's not going to happen. The bill.
What happened today? Actually, it was Friday, yesterday.
I don't know, what was it?
The new jobs report came out.
Oh, yeah. You sent me that.
Yep. 139,000 jobs created. Well above what they predicted. The economists were saying by now we should be in a terrible recession. Jobs would be gone.
Mm-hmm.
That was the prediction because of the tariffs. Now they're all saying, well, he's doing it a lot better. Inflation is down. This is down. Jobs are up. And these jobs, the CBO put out a little thing. They're all native born Americans in these jobs.
That is awesome.
So
that's what we need.
That's what we need to get going.
And if we can get the younger generation to want to work, that'll be better.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, like I was going to say, just to finish up what I was saying, it's going to take time for all the jobs to get back, and it's going to take money. But once it's all back and it's all built, then the money is going to start rolling in. Still good for the no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. That's what we all want, So I say let's get that bill signed and let's get it going. Period.
I agree.
Okay. Now, Bill, with all of that that's gone on, there was a little spot about a fungus that was caught out on the West Coast coming into the United States. From China.
And what did this fungus do?
Well, it'll attack our food supply, especially with cows. Then it also causes people to get sick, and becomes sterile.
Wouldn't be much need for that tractor if he ain't got no supplies out there to can't grow nothing.
I know.
That fungus was, they said that this stuff, just a little bit of this stuff would have wiped out our entire food supply.
And this is not the first attempt. They actually caught another attempt. How many years ago was it? A year or two ago?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
So now my question is, and I know everybody has their opinion, but I'm going to say it. Now my question is, why haven't we just went on and bombed China? They are literally trying to attack the American people biologically.
And they're saying now that this new disease, I don't know what it is, but there's a new disease going around in China, and it's supposed to be 10 times worse than COVID. So I say let the left play mask, do whatever they want to. I'm not playing with this one.
I'm not either. And then the other thing too is I'm too old, so I'm not going to help with the population anyway.
You heard that you and me. I mean, it's a fact. You and I went through that whole COVID thing,
Yeah.
messed with the public every day. And the first time I got exposed, and the state doctor said, "Oh, they quarantined me, put me in that little room. We got off the corner there at the
Yeah.
PD. Put me in that little room, had me call the state doctor, explain everything, had body cam video, everything, and then have the doctor say, "Oh, you're a cop. You're okay. You can go back to work." I never got over that. It's like, okay, from that point on, I'm like, who needs masks? Who needs gloves? I'll just take my zinc and my vitamin C and drink my gin and tonic at night, and I'll be fine.
Right.
And I was.
The thing I never could get over was how they kept telling other people and me, is like, well, you had COVID, you just didn't know it. What? I had it, but I didn't know it.
Well, how, yeah, okay.
I don't get it. That
How
still
you get
blows
this
my
deadly
mind.
disease that's killing everybody, but you didn't know you had
These are not the droids you're looking for.
it.
Uh,
Oh,
well, here's my thing. I'm going to say this, and then we can move on about this whole fungus thing. China, and Bill, you know this. People, I want you to understand this. China came out with a plan that's like, I can't remember if it's like 100-year plan or what, but it is like a slow erosion to take over what they want to take over, which is basically America. They know that going in an all-out fight with the United States is not going to work. It's just not going to happen. They could probably do it right now. We'd struggle just because the military is not at full strength. But they're not going to win that way. But if you plan a slow erosion, it's like sitting in a jail cell and planning your escape with a spoon. If you sit there and you keep digging at the wall to make your hole, and you keep covering it up every day with a poster and nobody sees it, and you keep digging and digging, eventually with that spoon, you'll dig a hole to get out of jail. That is what China is doing with the United States. All of these biological weapons and things that they are doing, it's not innocent, folks. It's an act of war, but nobody's seemed to care. It's like, oh, they let something escape. So all I got to say is, how much longer are we going to take it? It's
I
an act
don't
of
think
war.
too much
That's the way I
longer.
see it.
I don't think too much longer.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Bill, let's go back out to the West Coast because everything happens out on the West Coast.
Out on the left coast.
What's going on out in LA right now?
Well, it appears they're blocking ice. They're blocking ice vehicles. They're blocking entrance to the detention center. They're burning shit in the streets. They're throwing rocks. It's an insurrection.
But Bill, how can it be? They're peacefully protesting. J6
Yeah,
was an insurrection. AOC said that her life was in danger.
yeah. I'd say a lot of those ice agents tell you their lives are in danger.
Yeah. I mean, have you watched some of the videos that have come
Oh
from out
yeah.
there?
Yep.
I mean, they are attacking law enforcement officers.
I've got just a minute, I'll have something else for you here. Go ahead with what you're talking about. And I'll add to it here in just a minute.
Well, I'll go ahead and just read to everyone what Dan Bongino said, which everybody knows Bongino is the deputy director of the FBI. He has announced that there's going to be a crackdown on the left-wing rioters who attacked ICE agents in LA yesterday. As Stephen Miller declares, it was an insurrection against the laws and sovereignty of the United States, which I agree that. Bongino says, and I quote, "The days of chaos ruling the streets are over. Either obey the law or go to jail. There is no third option." I love that. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
It does say here too, the right to assemble and protest does not include a license to attack law enforcement officers or impede or obstruct the lawful, says the lawful immigration operations. So he's calling for them to be made an example. And to go on with that as well, I believe Donald Trump just sent out a thing too where he's sending in the National Guard because Gavin Newsom
Yes.
won't. That just
He
came out
said
today.
if Newsom can't handle it, federal government will. Actually, he said new scum.
Yeah, I mean, he's new scum. Old scum, but new scum. Now, how do you think that's going to fare as far as him sending in the guard?
Well,
I
I
mean,
believe it's going to do what it needs to do. They should be able to take care of business.
well, and that's something I was going to say too. You already know this. If it's a guard MP unit, they're already trained with riot control.
Yep.
And if they're going to do it military style, somebody's going to get their head cracked. Just saying. You gonna mess around and find out.
I know.
But yeah, that was the couple of the latest things coming out. What are you working on there, Bill?
Just some more of the riot stuff there.
Oh, yeah. Here's that article just to kind of go back a little bit. 139,000 jobs were added in the month of May. In May, folks.
Yep.
139,000. And like you were saying, but all of the economists and everything said we were going to be in a deep recession.
Yep.
I think that just solidifies that Trump knows what he's doing with the tariffs, the deals, everything. Now, I will ask you this. Have we heard anything new with Russia and Ukraine?
Not since the big attack Ukraine did into Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So Russia says they're going to retaliate, but we shall see what happens.
Get this, Bill. Here we go again. I just pulled this up. apparently there have been pallets of bricks to show up again in LA.
That's that USAID money at work.
Or is it Soros money? You remember how
Well,
those
they're saying now Soros was getting his money from USAID.
well, that don't surprise me. You know, how else is he going to stay insanely wealthy and rich? Do you remember how these things were showing up during the other rallies
Oh
or
yeah. Oh
riots?
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
pallets of bricks. And now here we go again. Pallets
There
of
you go.
bricks
Again.
showing up in LA.
Yeah. Well, I think that you're gonna find out things ain't quite the same as they were during the summer of love. Yeah. Gino and the boys gonna crack some heads.
Listen, if it were up to me, I'd have them come out with the fire trucks and the pressure hoses on the trucks and just
Don't put it past them.
oh, this is
I
great.
got one for you. Going right along with this immigration thing.
uh,
Okay, you remember the Garcia, the one that they said they called him the Maryland man or the Maine man or whatever, was it, Maryland man, whatever,
yes,
man from
yes.
Maryland, whatever. Uh, they're bringing him back. The
So,
Democrats are getting what they wanted, but why are they bringing him back? Because now they got video that shows for like 5 to 6 years he was heavily engaged in and was running the smuggling of humans into the United States.
oh,
Human trafficking.
oh,
So they're bringing him back to stand trial so they can send him back to the prison in El Salvador. Because the Democrats have been, he hasn't committed a crime. Why did you deport him? He hasn't committed a crime. Well, now, guess what? He's committed a crime.
well, human trafficking. There you
Pam
go.
Bondi said they're going to prosecute him to the fullest and then send him back to El Salvador.
You don't reckon that the Democrats will plan a big prison break, do you?
I thought they were going to there for a while.
Well, I would have liked to seen how that would have worked out in El Salvador.
Oh, this just in from Tom Holman says he's telling them in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
you better be off the street by 9 because we are bringing the National Guard with us tonight.
Oh, son.
Over 2,000 troops.
Listen, they are going to FAFO.
Mm-hmm.
They are for real going to FAFO.
They're going to think this is the Biden DOJ and they're going to get away with all this shit, but I don't think so.
Listen, I'm looking at a video now that's showing about 5 or 6 bear cats out there on the street.
Yeah, that's ice. You see the one where they were in a convoy and they're driving down the road and this dude jumps out in front of the Bearcat, puts his hands up on the hood like he's going to stop this thing. He's backpedaling as they're driving along, and all of a sudden the guy gooses it a little bit and it knocks the guy flat on his ass.
Yeah.
They back up and drive on around it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
listen.
hilarious.
If it, I would be launching gas, launching so much gas at those folks, and then just pushing through with riot gear and everything. I mean, eventually they'll get the hit. But here's what needs to happen, though, too, Bill. They need to make sure that these liberal judges get their hands tied and that nobody can come back and go like, well, what you did was wrong. You shouldn't be doing it. It's like, no, we don't want to hear that crap. Because
There you go.
rioting like they weren't attacking law enforcement, that was wrong.
TikTok's most followed creator. I can't say it. Khaby. Cobby.
Yeah.
Hobby, something lame, Lame,
Yeah.
has just been arrested by ICE. The number one, he is number one on TikTok. Let me say that again. He was number one on TikTok. He's from Senegal and he overstayed his visa. He's
And
currently in the Henderson Detention Center.
listen, let's make something clear too, Bill. If you overstay your visa, you're still breaking the law.
Yeah, you're still here illegally.
Yeah. I don't know what type of guy he was. I mean, but I think it's still kind of funny. But folks, let's face it. If they're here on a visa and they're allowed to be here and the visa is still, not expired, then yeah, by all means. I'm sure they're not even worried about it.
Well, here's the thing. I watched some of his stuff they got on here. He was always bragging about overstaying his visa. What was he thinking?
Hey, Bill.
I'd kept my mouth shut.
Bill, you and I have seen some videos like that come across Facebook where people brag about what they just stole, and we go, "Oh yeah."
Oh, yeah, we got this guy. We know a report. I got a report on that. Yeah.
Folks, if criminals were geniuses, police officers wouldn't have a job.
We wouldn't have a job.
It's amazing the things that criminals do that gets them caught. Oh, geez. But like always, Bill, I just passed a video of somebody saying that their people are being persecuted by the U.S. government. But let's just face it: if you're here illegally, you're breaking the law, and just like anything else, I actually had to explain this last week too. By the way, I had to explain it to a lady on the phone. Like, yeah, there is a statute in the KRS, the Kentucky Revised Statute, that says that you can't do this. So that is why you got a ticket.
Oh, I used to hate those days. Seemed like when you got one, you got 2 dozen right after that you had to
I know,
deal
but
with.
there's this book. It's called the Kentucky Revised Statute, where all the laws are in there. And people go, "Oh, I never even heard of that." Well, I'm sorry that you haven't, but it is a law. We didn't just make it
The
up to aggravate you.
the representatives you elected made those laws, not us.
Yes. Uh, what else you got, Bill? We're at about almost 30 minutes, I guess.
Let's see. Well, they got all these Democrats coming on there going, massive ice raids in LA. This is not what I voted for. Like, I'm looking at this guy going with the purple hair and these big giant sunglasses, and I'm like, you didn't vote for Trump. Don't even act like it.
And Bill, if you notice, all of this stuff is going on out in LA. Georgia ain't got a problem right now. Mississippi.
Well, even New York. They tried it in New York today. Did you see what happened?
No.
LAPD stepped up.
Oh, you mean NYPD?
NYPD stepped up and get the hell out of here. Started pushing the riders right so ICE could go on in.
Well,
Everybody was kind of surprised at that, but
like I said, it doesn't happen in Florida. Ain't happening in
what
North
about
Carolina.
today when they went to raid that facility? I don't know if you read this one or not. They went to raid this facility, and the protesters and the guy that owned the factory that they were raiding barricaded them inside. They locked ICE inside the facility. The FBI had to come and bust them out.
Wow.
The FBI had to come and fight their way through to get the ICE agents out of the facility.
That is crazy. Like
And in
people,
Florida, they're saying now, well, we're not going to have all these houses and stuff done on time. I mean, they went in those work sites and they cleared them out. There wasn't every employee they had was illegal.
oh, I'm sure.
And they're like, well, we're not going to be able to make these deadlines on building these buildings.
Well, there should be some American workers somewhere who aren't high, maybe. I should.
Yeah. The Proud Boys, and you know their leader,
Yeah.
former leader, or whatever you're going to call him now, has just filed a $100 million lawsuit
Ooh.
saying that 5 members of the Proud Boys that were illegally arrested and prosecuted on January 6th had their constitutional rights violated by law enforcement and the DOJ.
I would say they're a part of several others that had their rights violated on J6.
I'd say so.
Oh, well, that's about all I got.
We're at 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's about all I got. Folks, y'all just going to have to keep
I'm
watching this
still
stuff.
getting all these new videos coming out of Los Angeles. And it's still
Yeah.
daytime there.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the other thing, too. Folks, I say keep an eye on this stuff. Just watch and see how how things go.
Do you
I'm
see
sure
Trump's
that
tweet?
no, what did he throw out there?
If Governor Gavin Newsom of California and Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles can't do their jobs, which everyone knows they can't, then the federal government will step in and solve the problem. Riots and looters will solve it the way it should be solved. National Guard's on its way.
I'm telling you, bring out the fire trucks and the hoses. Just goosh. By the way, I've used one of those things on a water tanker trip. Those freaking pressure freaking nozzle things, those are powerful as crap. I shot a stream every bit of about 100, 150 yards.
I've seen it knock some firemen on their butts.
I was on a mounted one. You just sit there and pull the lever and just. Bill, final word, and then we'll get out of here.
Well, it shows that only thing I got here is that they're actually coming in now. Helicopters are coming into Los Angeles, bringing ICE agents, more ICE agents. The guards flying them in, bringing in more equipment.
Well, good deal.
All this stuff they're bringing in is for anti-demonstration purposes.
Oh, I can't wait to see the fun.
You and I both went through that school. That's fun.
I can't wait to see the funny videos that are about to happen.
Oh, I know.
All right, folks. That's going to be it for us. Thank you for joining us as always. Check out the Blue Collar Minutemen at bluecollarminutemen.com on the website. Check us out on YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble. And we are on YouTube again. And check out our social media accounts on the X and other platforms we got. The True Social, the X. We don't use really Spreely. I haven't got on that in I don't know how long.
Yeah, we're pretty much off of that. They changed their format.
But folks, you all have a great day. Continue to watch what's going on now. I'm telling you, keeping a close eye on it. And we'll see you next time. God bless you all. God bless America. And we'll see you.
See ya.